Hey guys, another video here. It's Jonathan Edwards, Coach Edwards, Olympian Jonathan, whatever you want to call me. But listen, this is an interesting one. It's bright today. So I was online today, like I'm online every day, and I come across this Facebook post that gets shared with me by one of the parents that I work with, and this was really neat. So it was a clip, it was a link to a Facebook group talking, and the question was this: it was like, what's the one quality you really would love to get out of your coach that's kind of a non-negotiable? And the last time I checked it, it was at 150 inputs, right? So people had put down their comments, and it looks something like this. All right, so one of the themes that I've kind of shared over the years with my athletes and is that this idea that we ask way too much from our coaches. One of the ways to kind of consider this is that, our coaches really just want to teach us how to play, right? They're designed, they love their sport, and they want to be in the tactics of it. They want to be at the high level stuff that's fun, not just for them but for the athlete. And what tends to happen is athletes come at it and they're very sensitive, or they're very emotional, or they lack life skills that they really should have gotten from their parents. So if you're a parent watching me right now, I want you to listen up. But if you're the athlete watching me right now, I want you maybe to have some consideration for some of the things that you haven't been taught yet. So one of my athletes this past week got involved in a little bit of a situation where, it was a little unlucky, a little miscommunication with the coach, new team, things along those lines. But basically, my athlete got kind of thrown under the bus. And this athlete is actually the best player on the team. And this was kind of weird. What it all boiled down to was this. So the coach is young and is new to coaching, right? So this is probably one of the biggest job this coach has had at this point in their career. And what happens is that coaches lack bandwidth, just like a computer lacks bandwidth, right? They lack processing power. They've got all this stuff to deal with. And as a coach, again, what ends up happening is that they really just want to be focusing on the tactical stuff. And let me show that to you. All right, so let's talk about this for a second. Every coach is really out there to coach, to they want to be working on the tactical side of the game. They want to be working on the plays and who goes where and what happens, and this is what we want to have happen. And you might be on a team sport with a power play or a man down, and the coach is trying to organize the team like that. But in addition, the coach has maybe 15, 20, 25 guys to worry about, or girls to, it doesn't matter. But the coach, what's important to understand is the coach is really there for the tactical stuff and maybe the technical stuff. That's what makes every coach the happiest, okay, at their core. So if you haven't seen my video on the three key abilities, right? I even have a course on it. But if you haven't seen those videos, you might want to check those out real quick. I'll put a link below, but I'll just draw it out for you real quick. Okay, so here we go. This is the way this works. So every athlete has three key abilities. It looks like this. So we've got physical, right? Physical, and then another circle that we draw here is we have technical, right? So this is technical. All right, and then we have a third circle, which is tactical. All right, so to be a successful athlete, you really need all three of these, but you can get by with 2 out of 3 depending on how old you are or what's going on. But elite athletes have a combination of all three, right? It's because you, the athlete, are in the middle. But from the coach's perspective, right, this is what's really important to understand, because it all comes down to the coach, and we're asking so much of our coaches. And here's what happens, right? So around this, around these three key abilities, every athlete has layers. Okay, so the first layer is life skills. Okay. All right, life skills. Now, this is a parenting issue, okay? Life skills are things like showing up on time, coming to practice like rested, fed, and watered, not being a problem, like not talking back, or being a leader. Like, these are all life skills. Like staying up too late, that's a life skill. Showing up with all your gear, that's a life skill, right? That falls under organization, but that's a life skill. And this is a place where a lot of parents want their coach to be the parent, right? To be this second or third parent, depending on how you look at it. But this is where, from a coach's perspective, a coach only has an athlete a few hours a week. Even at like the professional level, a coach it doesn't have a lot of impact on players, right? But so this is a cultural thing. This is a strategy thing. But this is really the stuff that should come from an athlete's upbringing, but we want the coach to give us, right? And again, it doesn't matter what the age, right? I'll get back to that. So life skills. Then around this, we have resources, right? Can you still see that if I draw them here? Resources. All right, so what are resources? Time, energy, and money, all right? So we have limited resources, okay? This is really important to understand because your coach has limited resources, right? Coaches have limited time. Coaches have limited money, right? Coaches also have limited energy, right? So, and we all have limited energy. And this is where I think a lot of the grief that comes from youth sports and into any sort of national team sport or professional sport, the resource of energy is what affects people the most. Is that because when people are tired, when people are overwhelmed, when people are having a bad day, what ends up happening is that they're short-tempered, they're not able to communicate effectively, and that's a problem, right? But that's a resource, right, that everybody has. And so the final resource, or the final layer that goes around all this, is belief. Now, where can I write that so you can see it? Belief. All right. So your belief in your resources, your belief in your life skills, your belief in your physical ability, your technical ability, your tactical ability, but most importantly, your coach's belief also affects all this. So here's what happens. When we ask our coaches to be more than and have them focus on the tactical and the technical, where they really want to be, we are asking so much of them, all right? And this is where things kind of fall apart. You see, if we looked at this like a business, we would think long and hard about who we would have in certain places within the company and their responsibilities. And when most businesses fail, it's when people who are in roles who lack skills for those roles. And in a business, you would never heap too much responsibility on any one person. And if you think about it, with a coach, what we really want from them is we really want from them to help our athletes with the technical abilities, learning some skills, maybe where they lack, and help them develop their skills to get to the next level, and then tactically be able to teach them, again, an understanding of what to do and how to do it so they can achieve at the next level. It's always about the next level, because if we just focus on the short term, what ends up happening is time passes and then the athlete gets left behind because athletes in other programs have now developed their skills and have gotten to a certain level. So we want our coach to be able to at least do that for us. But the problem lies when we want our coaches to basically be a tactician like the greatest war general ever, right? And we want them to be able to give us technical skills like Simone Biles, right? But then we want them to do it in like they're wrapped up like they're Betty White or they're Gandhi or Mother Teresa, right? And they're going to do it with all this compassion and all, it's too much. It's too much. What we really need to do is we need to prepare our athletes that when they go to a program that, listen, the only thing we're expecting our coach to give us out of this is to improve our technical ability and our tactical ability so we can get to the next level. Even the physical ability, we know enough about strength and conditioning now that your physical ability should not be the responsibility of your technical coach. You should be coming prepared, right? You should be doing the work outside of practice where you're going to work on your technical stuff and your tactical stuff. The physical stuff, we can't do it all in the same practice anymore. All right. This is where that's old school thinking, right? Modern thinking is that, all right, the athlete comes prepared to practice to do the technical work the coach wants them to do, and so that they can get to the tactical stuff that can help the program win. And because the program is going to be around a lot longer than you are, right? The program is going to go on after you're gone, and you should be respectful of that, right? So when we're asking our coach to develop all this stuff, right, we want them to be technical, tactical. We want them to be part parent, part guru, part time manager. They don't want to deal with it, nor should we be asking them to do that. We should be asking them to be able to focus on the other things. Now, listen, I am all for coaches being more sensitive to just kind of human nature, right? And there's a lot of coaches, I would say this year, out of all the years I've been working with athletes on mental performance, it's become a theme across all sports at all levels, including like the Division I, into professional, into junior hockey up here in Canada where I am as well. There's just coaches are turning into I don't believe that's allowed anymore. All right, I believe that we know enough about becoming enough of a good person. I tell my coaches this, like, you're not just in the sport business, you're also in the people business, you're in the customer service business, because the coaches that tend to get fired because of those issues. It's rare a coach gets fired for their lack of technical ability or tactical ability, right? It's more comes down to the fact that they're a jerk or a jerkette, right? For all the female coaches out there, right? But I think if we can come at this with a little bit more of a holistic approach and understand, we're asking our coaches to do a heck of a lot. If you take all the emotion out of it, if you take all the sensitivity out of it, and you just come down to the fact that, listen, they want you to be able to improve technically and tactically, and we just leave it at that, everybody will be a lot happier, right? And if they're not taking it so personal, right? When a coach tells you that your skating sucks or your edging sucks or your passing ability is horrible, an athlete can't take that as a personal front, right? And nor should their parents, but that's what tends to happen, and then that gets all muddy. If you take that out and just say like that coaching was really based on what you're doing, not who you are, right, then we're going to be much better off. So I think what we need to kind of come to some common ground here and understand that, man, our coaches, we just want them to cover a little bit of this, not all of this. And when we ask them to do all of this, that's where the problems arise. Just like a company, if people are doing too much of the wrong thing for too long, the company fails, all right? And so we've got to take that kind of that entrepreneurial approach to coaching and sport. We're going to have a much better result.